Welcome everybody to The Candle Enthusiast. I am your host, Shane Carlson, and this is Aromatically speaking, my secondary channel, the future home of all of my candle content, a place where you and I can sit down and we can talk about candles. We can do a little bit of sensory evaluation, use our noses to pick apart candles and figure out the reasons why some of these make us emotional, why some of these help us escape, why some of these mean so much to us on a very deep level, but also to look at them and try to find out what on earth do these candles smell like? What are the components? What are the ingredients? What is inside these jars that is making all of this magic happen? I just recorded 2 evaluations of Bath & Body Works 2020 Easter collection. This is going to be comprised of Some Bunny Loves You, which was a decadently delicious, crispy, crunchy, happy birthday vanilla cupcake with fluffy marshmallow goodness. And also Spring Has Sprung, which was incredibly impressive, creating this portrait using just aromas of the beginning of spring. So make sure you check out those evaluations if you haven't already. The links of those videos will be in the description below. But the third and final candle in this collection is going to be the candle that we see released every year, the name Happy Easter. The fragrance of this Happy Easter candle changes every year, but I have not smelled this candle yet. I picked this up at Bath & Body Works / White Barn about 2 weeks ago, and this candle has stayed in its wrapping since then. I may have smelled it at the store. I may have. But I'm going to forget about that for the moment. On the jar, we have Happy Easter. The name of the fragrance, though, is Tutti Frutti Jelly Bean. All right, so something that's very synonymous with Easter, the holiday of Easter, and just this time of year in general, really, right? Possibly hipster-esque, little fluffy bunny, looks like the Velveteen Rabbit wearing these teal glasses. He's in a big pile of Easter eggs, kind of like the pool of colored balls at McDonald's. So, but you know, look at his expression. You know, he looks happy, but I think he'd be a little bit more joyous, or maybe he's just concerned because he can't get out of these eggs. We're going to read the fragrance notes towards the end of the video here, but let's jump into this candle and give it a sniff. So Tutti Frutti Jelly Bean. Is this going to be a flavor of jelly bean? Is this going to be a cornucopia of jelly beans? Well, it's called Tutti Frutti, so it's going to be a mixture, I suppose. But is it just jelly beans? Well, there's only one way to find out. I think it's best to come into this candle, at least for evaluation purposes, without thinking about jelly beans first. Because we could just say, yeah, this smells like a bowl of jelly beans, but what's fun in that? And I say that also because I do find that there is a specific fruit flavor, or I guess aroma, that's emitting from this candle. Again, I haven't burned this. I'm just smelling these candles cold today. It's very berry, very berry forward, berry bramble. So the spectrum of anywhere from blue fruit to black fruit, maybe a little bit of red fruit. But my point is, it's more of a rich, dark black fruit, like blackberry, boysenberry, black currant, cassis, huckleberry, things of that nature, and in a very jammy way, very jammy. I mean that. However, candified. And when I say candified, this means not only does it resemble candy, but it's, the way that's achieved is that this is enhanced with not only a massive sweetness, but also a perceived tartness. This doesn't just smell sweet. Old-fashioned jelly beans, correct me if I'm wrong, but the jelly beans I had growing up were just sweet. They're essentially gumdrops with a hard candy shell, but there is a perceived tartness. I'm saying perceived because we can't smell tart, we can't smell sweet either, but when we smell this, we can deduce that if this were something we could eat like candy, that it would be both sweet and very tart. And usually in candies, they're loaded with citric acid and malic acid to achieve that mouth-puckering flavor and sensation. And what is so impressive is that I can smell the candy shell. I'm trying to visualize what that candy shell is. I mean, it's just sugar and food dye, correct? But there is like this soft vanilla creaminess to jelly bean shells. They probably are adding some kind of fat or oil in that candy to keep it kind of a jelly consistency and a little bit of that powdered sugar so it's not so sticky. But I'm telling you, when I'm smelling this, there is this very uncanny resemblance to the actual hard candy shell to a jelly bean. I wasn't expecting that. That's kind of well, that's cool. That's really cool when something like that is that specific. But this is reminding me of other candies. One that came to mind almost immediately was Fruit Stripe in 5 juicy flavors. I hope I'm getting that right. The fruit gum with the zebra on the pack. I don't think they make it anymore. These nostalgic candies always help me break down fragrances and also communicate the fragrances with you because, candy is something we experience when we were a child. It's so near and dear to our hearts. So even though we haven't had certain breakfast cereals or candies or soda pops for decades or ages, you can still almost imagine what these smell and taste like. So Fruit Stripe for sure, and a little bit of fruit leather. All I'm addressing there is that this is, a pectin rich. Pectin is what kind of gives it the gelatinous form, but authentic dried fruit leather, just authentic fruit. A little bit of peachy, and there's a little bit of I'm gonna say Concord grape, and not in a real like Concord grape, not Concord grape jelly or Manischewitz wine. Concord grape flavored candy, whether that be now and laters or certain kinds of sodas. I would not classify this as like a grapes, like a traditional grape soda, but there could be some grape sodas that smell like this. There's, with those berries, a grapiness. But I have to go back to something I said before, vanilla, right? When we have this fresh fruit that's sweet and it's tart, you need something that's going to soften things up. Just so there's a variance to what we smell, that there's an experience when we burn this candle. If you didn't have complementing aromas, it would just be a one note. And that's when our noses become desensitized. When we light a candle and we smell it for a few minutes and then we can't smell it anymore. Or if we leave the room and come back into the room, we smell the candle, but then a couple minutes later you can't smell it anymore. By having complements, contrasts, and even aromas that bridge one another, this is what helps keep the aroma in our living space from us becoming desensitized to it. And vanilla is what I'm getting at here. There is a candy vanilla nuance to this candle, and I don't necessarily even want to say nuance. It's there. It's just the fruit is so big to this candle that we may not necessarily focus on it when you stick your nose in there or when you burn this candle. But the more I'm smelling this, there is a little bit of a spicier fruit, a spicier berry. I don't want to go here because it sounds like I'm digging too deep. But red currant usually has this little bit of a peppery spice to it, and in the most mild way. But there's something here that I recognize in tropical fruit candles. It's something that I can't quite identify. Sometimes coconut can have this spice, that suntan lotion, exoticness to it. I really can't place it. I'm trying to, I was going to say like citrus zest, because that would give us our spice, but I don't know if that's necessarily what I'm picking up on. But for the sake of time, let's take a look at the fragrance notes and see if we learn anything here. Ooh, sweet jelly beans, mixed berries, and sugared lemon. Yeah, I won't lie. I'm a little disappointed that I said citrus, but I didn't pick out citrus zest specifically. I was getting there with the spiciness of the zest, but I was thinking more of like an orange zest spice. But yeah, I can definitely see now how this would be a lemon, lime, even more exotic citrus fruit. But does it say sugared lemon zest? It just says sugared lemon. So there you go. Happy Easter, Tutti Frutti Jelly Bean by Bath & Body Works, the third and final candle in this collection. Definitely something, if you are a habitual jelly bean eater, a connoisseur of jelly beans, this one is quite enticing. I think the most impressive thing, other than the assorted fruit that I was finding in this candle, was the authenticity of that actual hard candy shell. And I guess that's why people who make fragrance oils are artists, right? I really can't even describe what specifically in that candle is making me perceive the shell, but I actually do smell it. 3 wildly different candles, something for everybody. I haven't burned them. I will. If you can find these, make sure you give them a sniff at your local Bath & Body Works shop, White Barn shop. If they're sold out, maybe, well, I don't know what you can do with that. They probably won't restock, but maybe they'll come back next year. Quick promotion. Help fuel the candle enthusiast, my travel destination videos. All of my future adventures really does depend on a collective effort from all of us. Ways to support the candle enthusiast and the videos, all of the links going to be in the description below. Merchandise, t-shirts, hats, mugs, all of that great stuff at spreadshirt.com. But also, if you would like to anonymously make a pledge or a donation to the channel, we can do that through PayPal as well. Trust me when when I say $1, $2 is more than enough. If everyone can lend a hand, I have a wonderful agenda, a list of things that I want to share with you. I want to take you places this year, some really fun ideas, and you know what to do. Thanks for watching. I always appreciate it. I hope everyone has a wonderful beginning to the spring season, and a very happy Easter if this is a religious holiday that you celebrate. I will be talking to you folks soon, but until then, be good, will you?